So in this episode of Viral Rewind, we're going to look at the Horty email worm. Now, this worm is written in Visual Basic script, so this way we can look at it and see what's going to happen when we execute this Visual Basic script virus. So we start getting some shell commands, so it's going to make use of the Windows shell for its operation, and then it's going to do some file operations here, including what's going to call it, and then because it's an email worm, it has obviously some email spreading routines. For instance, here are the lines it's going to put into any email messages that it sends. Have you ever seen Angelina Jolie in extremely hot scenes? You cannot imagine the pleasure unless you check the attachment. I'll get in touch with you again soon. And then it will add all this, and then later on we'll see that it puts the Visual Basic script as an attachment called this right here into the file. And obviously what we're seeing here is that it's getting the Windows directory. That's what this get special folder 0 is, and it's assigning a whole bunch of variables for files it's going to be copying when we execute it. And then it does it again here with get special folder 1, which is the Windows system folder, and again it's going to copy some files there too. And here's all the copy operations going back to all those variables that it declares as boot, notably with boot A being where everything starts. And see how they call this boot A? Boot A. See what they're doing here? Anyway. And then we have some payload dates. So, and they all happen to take place during May. So on May 11th we get this message box here that's going to say this, and then on the 12th we're going to get this one here, and it's going to do some registry operations, adding some run commands, probably to make the Horty Visual Basic script email worm run at least twice on Windows startup after that payload date. Then May 15th we get another message box here. May 16th we get a deletion routine, which in this case it's trying to delete that boot A, which is assigned to the Windows folder. So it's trying to delete the Windows folder on May 16th, but the way this is written, it probably won't work on this system. And then if the system is still going, May 17th it gives us another message box here. Continuing on, we get this variable called B that's been assigned 1, and then it's doing some things here with the minutes of the system timer. Not exactly sure what it's trying to do, but it's assigning certain variable conditions based on the time, and taking time away or adding time to it. And depending on that B variable, it looks like it's trying to copy itself to any writable disk that happens to be in floppy A, or if the system has it, the second floppy drive, floppy B, with all the Visual Basic script names it wants to assign it. And then here, of course, is where all that conditions for variable B get changed, depending on the situation. And here we're getting into the mailing routines, where it gives us the subject lines called check this, and it also adds it to the mail body. And it also handles, as you see here, the email attachments, which is going to be that file that we showed at the beginning that is going to attach to the email with all those body lines and the subject line check this added to it. And then it's going to tell them to send it. So it's going to mass mail itself to all your contacts in your Outlook address book, or whatever your email client that your system is happening to be using. And then it does a little more stuff with the floppies, and then we get a little comment thing here from our virus author. So let's go ahead and run it. So nothing appears to happen because we're not on the payload dates, and while Outlook is not installed on this system, so we actually cannot see the email payload. I didn't actually think about that beforehand to have Outlook on here, so sorry about that. However, I wouldn't even have Outlook properly set up to handle messages, so we wouldn't have been able to see the actual mass mailing taking place. But as we saw from the Visual Basic script, you can see what it would write and what it would attach. So, look at our Windows directory here. And we see Angelina Jolie. That's the file that would be attached to the email. Here's another VBS file that it dropped. Again, these are all the VBS files that it dropped according to its VBS file when we looked at it. Again, Dance with the Devil. What else we got here? A couple more. Iron Maiden Are Dead. Matrix 2 theme. Kernel DLL.VBS. So that's some of the files that's dropped there. Let's see what the system directory has. Oh, there's ARG VBS. That's one of its things that dropped there. Attention, Black Sabbath, Brad Pitt. Oh yeah, and there's another one there. So yeah, you can see that this virus kind of revolves around Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt and their relationship and kind of other things. But again, it's designed to cause you mischief and ultimately delete your files. So let's look at the first payload date, which we know is May 11th. So May 11th we run Horty, and there's our message book. Atsu! Gate 1, your PC caught a throat. Yeah, it has to suck when that happens, but I don't think they meant throat. They probably meant something else, but that's the virus author for you. And everything else runs as normal. It's just that it displays that message box when we run it on the 11th. So let's go to the 12th. Run it again, and now we got, oh mama, I'm doomed. Gate 2, your PC is now stoned, which is a reference to the stoned DOS virus, which is another one of those we haven't gotten to look around yet. But we know that the May 12th payload is supposed to add some registry entries into the run command to ensure that Horty runs every time the system is started. So let's look at the HQ local machine. Let's see, software, Microsoft, Windows current version run. And here we have kernel 32, so there's WScript, so the Windows scripting host service, which is going to run this winkernel.vbs. And there's supposed to be another one in here. Let's see. When updated, it's again using the Windows scripting host to run kernel dll.vbs. So that makes sure that Horty runs twice when Windows starts it from now on. So it's going to run its email routine and everything 2 times every time that Windows started from now on. Let's advance it again to the 15th. That'll be a third of the 5 payloads. And the system is getting kind of bogged down here. What's going on here? That's because the Windows scripting host is causing us some trouble. Okay. Is it still running? Let's see if we can correct it. Yep. Okay. Now, obviously, the reason that the Windows scripting host is continuing to run is because of that floppy portion that I showed you. It's in a loop, so it's constantly monitoring system time and variables to try to write to the floppy drive, but there's no disk in there right now. But let's see. I'll put one on there and see if it makes a difference. So we've changed to the 15th. And now we get another message box. Only evil lives here. Gate 3. Greetings, mortal. Art thou ready to die? Let's see. Is there anything on this floppy at the moment? Now it has actually some of my work on there. And I don't know why, but it has changed the background back to this alien that I had from something else. So I'm going to set it back. So I'll just leave the floppy in there if it does anything. Let's open up Windows. Now it's entirely possible that that floppy operation is not set up to work correctly, because I would have expected it to be doing something with the floppy drive at this point. So let's advance to the 16th. Let me close out the Windows script so that it's fresh. So we got 16th, let's try it now. And from what we can see, nothing is disappearing here. Everything is still dead. Oh, there's another one here, X-Men. Didn't see that one. Everything's still in the system directory. Yes, it is. So obviously it has failed to delete the Windows directory and everything in it. I am curious about something though. Let's try it without being in the directory. Now, I would say the virus totally fails at it, so it's not going to actually delete the Windows directory. And then the last payload is the 17th. Now we get Greek hack virus version 6.1. You are out of danger, you lucky gay. From the Greek hack virus writer. And okay. And that's it. So obviously pretty much everything that the email worm that it wants to do actually works, except for actually deleting the Windows directory and all the files within it. It was actually kind of a little bit of an error because Windows has protections against that. So it's obviously not going to allow that to take place. And again, it's also added registry entries when we ran it on the 15th. Well, no, actually the 12th, excuse me. And because of that, Horty is going to run every time a Windows startup on 2 occasions. So it's going to double its email routine and file dropping routines. So aside from that, that's pretty much it for the Horty email worm.